Welcome to Living in Indianapolis, Indiana. My name is Evan Deal. I'm with eXp Realty, and on today's episode, we are going to dive into all of the Indianapolis suburbs. We're going to talk about what we love about them. Yes, that's right. I love the Circle City, and you will too after this episode. But before we get into that, be sure to hit the like button on this video, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you are kept in the loop on everything happening in and around the 317, this Circle City that we love and call home. Now, let's get into today's video. If you want negativity, this is the wrong video. We have another video for that, and that's what I hate about every Indianapolis suburb. So if you're feeling the hate, go there. Today is all about love. L-O-V-E, love. Let's dive in and talk about what is so great about every one of the areas around Indianapolis. I'm not going to cover every single tiny town around Indianapolis. Like if you're looking for, the pros and cons of Sheridan or Claremont, that's not this video. We're talking about the biggest suburbs. And I'm going to cover a couple of the smaller ones, but we only have so much time in the world and I can't cover every single one in one video. So with that, let's dive in. Let's start on the west. Plainfield, Indiana. What is great about Plainfield? What do I love about it? You know what I love? It's accessible. It is the most accessible of all the Indianapolis suburbs. It's right next to the airport. It's got the I-70 running through it, so you can just go straight into downtown from Plainfield, no problem. You can shoot up to Avon. You can get to the south side. You can get anywhere from Plainfield. Plainfield is so accessible, especially if you're flying in and out of the city. So if you're someone who's a frequent traveler and you're moving to Indianapolis, Plainfield is a really good option because of that proximity to the airport without living like directly right under the planes flying over your head all the time. So great place, very accessible. Let's just move north from there. How's that sound? Avon? What do I love about Avon? Let's see. With Avon, I really love the housing options. There's lots of different types of houses in Avon, and the whole area is getting updated with the new downtown project they're building out, which is almost all the way to Danville, but out there in Hendricks County. But what I really love about Avon is there's newer homes, there's older homes. The population there has really boomed over the last couple decades. At the turn of the century, it was around like 2,000 people, and now it's over 20,000 people, and they're starting to run out of space in Avon, but there is still development opportunities there, and there's a whole mix of homes. Like I remember the very first house I ever looked at before I was a real estate broker or anything, when I was just a new home buyer, was in Avon. It was on a golf course, and it was this mid-century modern, like super angular, groovy house. And they have houses like that in Avon. They have very normal style houses. They have new builds in Avon. So whatever your flavor is, Avon's got it. All right, let's keep moving north. What do you say? Let's go to Brownsburg. What do I love about Brownsburg? What I love about Brownsburg is it's not brown at all. It's green. It's very green. There's tons of parks in Brownsburg. You've got the big Eagle Creek Reservoir just south of Brownsburg. And you have the top half of it is a full-on, gigantic, beautiful park, right? So the bottom half is residential, and that's a little further south. But green space, north side of Eagle Creek, you have tons of parks throughout Brownsburg as well. And you see this really throughout the different suburbs around Indianapolis, but Brownsburg's a real standout here. What Brownsburg may lack in terms of like a huge downtown with tons of different activities and things to do, like you might see, in Hendricks County, you might in Plainfield, like with Hendricks Live, the new theater there, or like the Carmel Design and Arts District. I think I got that backwards. Arts and Design District, and or you have Fishers with all the different minor league teams there. Brownsburg doesn't have that, but Brownsburg has a plethora of outdoor space. So if you're an outdoorsy type person, you like getting out and about, Brownsburg's a really good area for that. I really stole the show here because I probably should have said that for Zionsville, what I love about there, because it's, like the entire thing's a park, but it's true for Brownsburg as well. Speaking of, let's go ahead and move right up the road to Zionsville. So now we're in the northwest of the city. And what I love about Zionsville is it's kind of like the premier destination around Indianapolis for luxury custom new builds. And there's just so many different neat houses all across Zionsville. Now the lots in Zionsville, you know, it's kind of like the premier location within Boone County, which is, you know, to the like northwest of Marion County where Indianapolis sits. There's just not other options like that. They're big lots. They're country lots. They're full-on luxury communities. Now you have some areas around Indianapolis, your Center Groves, your Carmels, you know, the Geist District and Fishers. There are different pockets of luxury, but it's most prevalent in Zionsville. So if you're looking for that real luxury feel and experience, it's a really top tier community for that, because that's where you see the most custom luxury builds, and there's a lot of builder options up there for that. So that's what I love about Zionsville, because it's unique. It also has a really cool like historic downtown, so you get the small town vibe right next to the big city. But I'm picking one thing. I'm picking one thing for everybody. So we're gonna go with the luxury builds for Zionsville. So speaking of luxury, let's go east a little bit and we'll pop over into Hamilton County. And now we've got not one, not two, not three, but 4 different places that we're gonna cover in Hamilton County. So where should we start? Let's start with Carmel. Speaking of luxury, Carmel, what do I love about Carmel? It is beautifully developed from a city planning standpoint. You know, Carmel is consistently rated one of, if not the best place to live in the entire United States of America. So in the entire country, not just in Indiana. And there's good reason for that. It's because Carmel is very smartly laid out, and it's all the little touches everywhere. Like, not only does Carmel have like 1 million times more roundabouts than everyone else in the country, it's actually more than double number 2. Check out our short for it if you haven't seen it. But like the traffic flows really well because of these roundabouts, but they're not just basic roundabouts. A lot of them have like sculptures and artwork inside the roundabout. Like, you don't have to do that. That's an additional expense, but it really adds to the aesthetic of the city and gives you that feeling of, wow, this is a really special place to live. You know, you cruise down 96th Street and you go past all the car dealerships. You know, there's normal car dealerships, there's luxury car dealerships, and each one of those roundabouts features like a historical automotive company featured in a different sculpture within the roundabout. And it's just really cool. And there's not a whole lot of areas like that. You go to downtown, you have the arts and design districts, you have the different parks in Carmel, you have the theater scene, the music scene. You know, Carmel's got its own symphony, just like downtown Indianapolis has in the Circle. There's just all these little touches throughout Carmel, all the brickwork and the architecture. It has a unique vibe that you don't see anywhere else. So what I love about Carmel is the aesthetic. It's a very architecturally pleasing city, and really just a true standout across the whole state of Indiana and across the entire country in the US. So let's move farther north to Westfield. What do I love about Westfield? There's a couple ways I could go here. I'm gonna, generally speaking, say the opportunity. And what's cool about Westfield is still burgeoning, it's still in development. And where it's grown out of is it's grown out of Carmel, because there's not a whole lot of places left to build in Carmel. There's a few opportunities, but they're very few and far between. In fact, in some cases in Carmel, you see people buying up lots with houses on them, tearing down the house to be able to build a different house. And you don't really see that very many other places. But in Westfield, you have new build opportunities, because the area, which used to be very agrarian, very rural, is really starting to build up from a city perspective. The population is over 50,000 now, which is making it one of Indiana's bigger cities. I know more populous states are probably laughing at that, but really, our population in Indiana is growing really, really well. So there are tons of different communities, tons of different styles, and it's just a really great place to build. You see Grand Park, the giant youth sports complex, is sort of the beating heart of Westfield right now, and sort of a ring around it is where you see all these new build communities, because there's former like fields that are being developed and plotted as new build communities. And it's really cool because the opportunity is there for you. No matter what style of house you're looking for, whether you want a ranch, 2-story, you want a basement, there's different amenities in all these. There's a ton of options. And I love going around to all these. So if you're looking to move to Hamilton County and you want that new build, Westfield's a great option. So just let me know. All the contact info is down here. So anyway, let's move on. Let's go directly east from Westfield and we'll pop over to Noblesville. And what I love about Noblesville is it's a mix of old and new. If you drive through the historic downtown of Noblesville, it is so cool. It is beautiful. The Hamilton County Courthouse is there. There's all sorts of little shops and restaurants there. It's surrounded by old, mature, tall trees that really harken back to what Indiana has looked like historically, which, most of it was forested before a lot of those forests were cleared out for agricultural purposes. And Noblesville still holds on to that. So it's a really, really cool vibe. But there's also tons of commercial opportunity in Noblesville as well. So you have the Hamilton Town Center. You have Ruoff, the concert center, where you can see some of the big acts that come into the Indianapolis area. I know Dave Matthews Band always comes there a couple nights a year. A lot of the major acts come there because there's a lot of space there. They also go to Gainbridge downtown, but Noblesville holds a lot. You have Connor Prairie that's there in Fishers and Noblesville, which is a cool thing to go to for kids, where it's Pioneer Days and they have playgrounds and stuff like that. But Noblesville just offers a lot, and that's what I love about it. No matter what your vibe is, there's something for your vibe in Noblesville. It's 70,000 plus people, still growing, still new build opportunities. They're pushing out further too. They're pushing out from the city proper into the surrounding countryside because a lot of people are moving there, which is the case for all 4 of the major cities in Hamilton County. And it's just cool. Noblesville has a unique vibe. It's not like Fishers, it's not like Westfield, it's not like Carmel. It really has its own place, and that's what I love about it. Now, let's go directly south of Noblesville and go to Fishers. What do I love about Fishers? The real question is, what don't I love about Fishers? I'm gonna have a hard time when you get over to the hate video because I'm not sure there's much to hate about Fishers. It's just a really well-constructed city. So I guess what I love about it is the consistency. There's a consistent vibe across Fishers. You don't have pockets where it's really high, really low. It's consistently nice throughout the city of Fishers, which is now the 4th largest city in Indiana. It's 104,000 plus people. So Fishers has really great new developments. The Nickel Plate District has come up a lot, over the recent years. The Fishers District is basically brand new over the last few years. The Geist District forms the southern part of Fishers. There's just nice parks everywhere. Even I talk about consistency. If you look at Hamilton County parks, I'm specifically thinking of Fishers parks here. Even the signs at the front of the park are all consistently the same. You don't see that in every area, and it's a nice design. So that consistency, whether it's from housing, the downtown developments, the infrastructure, there's a lot of roundabouts in Fishers too. Traffic flows pretty well. A little more difficult in northern Fishers, close to Noblesville, rather than southern Fishers, where I think it flows a little better, but it's really not bad. That consistency is what I love about Fishers. Just a consistently pleasant experience from north to south, west to east, across the entire city. And like I mentioned earlier, there are new build opportunities in Fishers. Most of them cluster just north of Fortville, out east. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I know those communities. I love those communities. So let's check it out together. And once again, the information is below. So I'm not going to count Geist as a suburb because Geist is part Indy, part Fishers, even a little bit kind of McCordsville-y. So let's just hop down to McCordsville. And McCordsville, what I love about it, similar to Westfield, is the blank palette that it is right now. Because McCordsville's traditionally been a pretty rural area, not a ton of development, but lately it is booming because people are flocking to the north and northeast part of Indianapolis, the suburbs here. You see a lot of development in Westfield, you see a lot of development in McCordsville. And in McCordsville, it's just south of Geist. So you have the Geist district of Fishers and then the Geist part of Indianapolis. And in McCordsville, you see tons of new build communities. So a lot of the same builders who are in Westfield are also in McCordsville. And they build different types of communities. There's lots of townhomes, there's lots of single family homes, and a variety of different options. And McCordsville has the McCord Square District major downtown project going on. So there's a major downtown project in Westfield, there's one in McCordsville, and there's one in Avon. And there's other, projects all around the city, in Indianapolis and in the suburbs. But those are just three of the major new downtowns that are coming in some of the suburbs. So what I love about McCordsville is just all of that opportunity, all of the new growth you see there. It's really, really neat. All right, let's keep going south. New Palestine. New Palestine is probably the smallest one on this list. It's very rural, but what I love about New Pal is not so much the infrastructure. It's a lot less developed than these other cities. It's the small town feel. And you don't get that in most of the areas around Indianapolis. You go to the west side, you go to the north side, even the south side, you don't really have that much of a small town vibe. The east side, you very much get that. It's very rural. And so you see a lot of farmers, a lot of farm communities in the area, and it's really cool. I'm from a farm community. I'm from Brazil, not the country, Brazil, Indiana, and New Pal really reminds me a lot of my hometown in that there's just tons of agrarian goodness all around. So it's a really cool area, and there's a lot of space. If you're looking for bigger lots, if you're looking for a farm, New Pal's can be a great option for that. Also, they have the coolest high school mascot. They're the Dragons, and I just think that's super cool. My high school was actually the Knights, so maybe the Knights slay the Dragons. I don't know, but I did have a winter percussion thing at New Pal way back in the day when I was in high school, and I remember their basketball court having the giant dragon on it, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So, fond memories for the New Pal area. All right, let's move further south. Now, this one's not technically a suburb because it's part of Indianapolis, but I'm going to cover it anyway. Franklin Township. Franklin Township, a lot of people don't even think about it. They confuse it with Franklin, Indiana, which is further south. But Franklin Township is an area super easily accessible from everywhere. It's in the southeast corner of Indianapolis, and it's kind of spills out of the city, and it's where there's still a lot of new construction. There's been new construction forever. I look at it mostly as a housing opportunity. So what I love about Franklin Township is that you can get a really great home at a relatively affordable price compared to a lot of the other suburbs around Indianapolis. So there's not as much infrastructure as some of the full-on cities around Indianapolis in terms of big major downtown developments, because it's still part of Indianapolis, but there's tons of housing opportunity. And what might cost you, a certain price in Westfield or Fishers, you can get a similar house in Franklin Township for a lot cheaper, typically speaking. And that's just because of the differences in demand and community development in the areas. So if you're looking at new construction, Franklin Township can be a really great option, especially if you work downtown, because you can hop up, you go over on 74, or you go up 65, depending on what area you live in, and you can get downtown relatively easily from there. So a lot of opportunity for housing specifically within Franklin Township, and doing so at an affordable price. That's what I love about it. I got a couple more for you. Let's go down south to Greenwood. And what I love about Greenwood is the scope. I love the scope of Greenwood because it stretches from, basically right under Perry Township and Southport, all the way down through Center Grove. And I'm gonna lump Center Grove and Greenwood into one because Center Grove is technically part of Greenwood, even though they kind of have different vibes. So Center Grove is sort of the luxury hub of the South, more or less. That's where you see some of the more expensive homes. It is part of Greenwood, and it is way out in the country is how I would describe it. So the lots, you can get some really big lots in Center Grove, some really big houses too. There's a lot of room to spread out. It's not as condensed as other areas because it's a bit more country based. That's kind of the vibe of Center Grove. It's really nice. And in addition to that, Greenwood itself has a ton of opportunity. There's every sort of commercial option and business you can think of in Greenwood. It's also really easy to get up into Indianapolis from Greenwood. So it's just a mix of different vibes, and it's a really big city in general. I think it's over 60,000 people that live in Greenwood, and there's tons of different pockets, different areas. So no matter what your vibe is, there can be a really good fit for you in Greenwood. Whether you're looking for the more agricultural vibe, whether you're looking for a city vibe, there's different employment opportunities, and it's also really easy to get around from Greenwood. So lots of good different things in Greenwood. All right, I'm gonna finish you out with one you probably weren't expecting to be on this list, but let's go even further south and go to Bargersville. Bargersville is even further south than Greenwood, and what I love about that is it is turning into such a unique area. There's not another area quite like Bargersville. The closest thing I would say is Zionsville, because Bargersville has this charming, absolutely charming downtown. It's not the biggest place, it's a relatively small town vibe, but it's everything's just really nice in Bargersville. It's a really cool, trendy type of area. And within Bargersville, there's lots of opportunities for new builds. There's also a lot of opportunity for luxury new builds, similar to how far south Center Grove is. Bargersville kind of similar. So there's different housing options in Bargersville, and it's really an up and coming area. So with all that in mind, this is all the love I have, all the love for the different suburbs of Indianapolis, and they're really wonderful. There's no wrong choices here. All these are great places, and they all have different vibes. So if you're looking in the Indianapolis suburbs, let me know. Let me know what your favorite is or what your least favorite is. We're gonna have a hate video as well. So this is the love video. So if you want to see the opposite side of the coin, you know the pros, but you wanna know the cons, be sure to tune in to our suburb hate video, and you'll see all the negatives there. So I tend to be a positive person, but I'll show you the other side of the coin too. So with that in mind, if you like this video, and if you're still here, you must have liked it because this is a long video. Leave a like on it, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you're kept in the loop on everything happening in and around Indianapolis. And if you're looking for new construction, existing construction, whatever, hit up my contact information below and I will help you find it. Can't wait to talk to you. Love to hear what you have to say in the comments or shoot me a message. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.